where the grit meets the grace and the dark finds the light. If you're seeking direction, we can help with that. Yeah, the backstage movement keeps you coming back. Pull back the curtain, let the real ones speak.
Pull back the curtain, let the real ones speak. Truth in the stories that we drop each week. From the front line hustle to the heart-to-heart chat. The Backstage Podcast is where it's at. So take me back to dignity, where we rise up strong and we walk with peace. If you're looking for the soul of the scene, just tap the Backstage Podcast. Yeah, that's where it's at.
Back to dignity, that's the call of the day. Where purpose hits different and hope finds its way. Investing in people and helping folks win at life. Turning struggle into power, turning pressure into light. Pull back the curtain, let the real ones speak. Truth in the stories that we drop each week. From the front line hustle to the heart-to-heart chat. The Backstage Podcast is where it's at. When the world gets heavy, come and take your seat. Where the mission is strong and the message is deep. Back to dignity. We're on that path, so step in the circle where the truth feels right. Where the grit meets the grace and the dark finds the light. If you're seeking direction, we can help with that. Yeah, the backstage movement keeps you coming back. Pull back the curtain, let the real ones speak.
Pull back the curtain, let the real ones speak. Truth in the stories that we drop each week. From the front line hustle to the heart-to-heart chat. The Backstage Podcast is where it's at. So take me back to dignity, where we rise up strong and we walk with peace. If you're looking for the soul of the scene, just tap the Backstage Podcast. Yeah, that's where it's at.
Back to dignity, that's the call of the day. Where purpose hits different and hope finds its way. Investing in people and helping folks win at life. Turning struggle into power, turning pressure into light. Pull back the curtain, let the real ones speak. Truth in the stories that we drop each week. From the front line hustle to the heart-to-heart chat. The Backstage Podcast is where it's at. When the world gets heavy, come and take your seat. Where the mission is strong and the message is deep. Back to dignity. We're on that path, so step in the circle where the truth feels right. Where the grit meets the grace and the dark finds the light. If you're seeking direction, we can help with that. Yeah, the backstage movement keeps you coming back. Pull back the curtain, let the real ones speak.
Pull back the curtain, let the real ones speak. Truth in the stories that we drop each week. From the front line hustle to the heart-to-heart chat. The Backstage Podcast is where it's at. So take me back to dignity, where we rise up strong and we walk with peace. If you're looking for the soul of the scene, just tap the Backstage Podcast. Yeah, that's where it's at.
The Backstage Podcast with Back to Dignity. I'm Taurus Column, and I have Clifton with me as well. And we're just going to open up a dialogue about developmental disabilities, any type of disability, including mental health. So I'm glad you guys are tuning in with us. We're going to just have a basic, down to earth, frank conversation about that. Also, we're going to talk about how this company Back to Dignity was founded, what we're all about, and what we do. Cliff, what's going on, man?
Nah, nothing much. Having a good day. How about yourself?
I'm fantastic.
Awesome,
Fantastic.
Awesome. Yeah, I know we've talked a lot in the past.
sure
I've
have.
done a lot of talking about
You sure
my
have.
personal journey.
Absolutely.
But what we really haven't delved
We skipped it, huh? I've been dodging it.
What we haven't delved into is like
Right.
how Back to Dignity came to exist.
Right. Well, Back to Dignity, it basically started, I want to say in my garage, but it started in one of the available rooms we had available in the house when I was married.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole umbrella logo that you see here, Back to Dignity, the name of the company, it all started with an idea. And the idea was, back when we started the company, I personally was going through a challenging time, personally. And in my head, I was thinking, when I get back on my feet, when I get back to something, and I was trying to find out, back to what, and, as we all know, if you go through something, you want to hold on to your dignity and what you're about. And life can be really tough at times.
Sure.
So, I want to get back to dignity, get back to respect, get back to what I enjoy. So yeah, pull the mic. Yeah. And then, and then the whole umbrella, the way I look at the umbrella, I know a lot of people look at the umbrella like a Molly maid or whatever, like I don't know, like some type of, some lady told me like a Molly maid type thing.
Gotcha.
Just like I don't know what she was trying to say. But to me, look, an umbrella, if you think about it, an umbrella covers you from the rain.
Mm-hmm.
It also covers you from the sun. In Arizona, people carry umbrellas to block the sun. So it's a covering. So anybody underneath Back to Dignity's umbrella, we have a covering over the people that we're serving here. That's staff, that's members, that's whoever comes into our presence here. And that's how I look at that.
Nice.
So that's how the whole logo came about. That's how the name came about. And the work that we actually do here is, look, I just wanted to really help people. I wanted to fit a need is what it came down to.
Okay.
Before Back to Dignity, I had a group home for troubled teens. And the way that group home worked is that it was 24/7, weekends, weekdays, summer breaks. Like you always got your responsibility with, others. And I had a family at the time, and it was stressful. We did great work with the people that were there. We turned lives around. Again, it was short-term care, 6 months max.
Okay.
And if you think of 6 months, in anything that we do, it's not enough time to really see the fruit. It's just enough to kind of almost get something started, but to see the fruit grow and blossom and sprout, like 6 months is not a lot of time.
True.
So the max was 6 months with short-term care. We helped people that came to our care at the time. People come in as sex offenders. Guys would come in, cut their necks, trying to kill themselves. And I just we turned them to what we thought was good at the time. So it was sports, mainly football. It was basketball, and those guys were, turned to be pretty good players on teams too. Never played the game before.
That's nice.
And the parents saw the turnaround in the kids. Their case managers saw the turnaround. So a lot of times what happened, Cliff, is that when people see a quick turnaround, they want to pull that kid right away, put him back at home.
Mm.
They understand, but put them back in that environment they came from is not always the, I ain't gonna say not the best thing because they're at home, but it may be premature at times. So if it's 6 month program minimum, they want to put them out 2-3 months, and there's not really enough time to really get anything productive. Lasting results happening.
Right.
So Back to Dignity was started with, me wanting to help people and getting into the industry and really figuring out what it's really all about.
Okay. I definitely like the story. The name has meaning.
Yes, it does.
And that's not always the case, but look, as you explained it, because I wonder sometimes, like, how did you come up with this I had in my mind what I thought Back to Dignity
What was that? What you
meant.
have it in there?
Was I think the demographic that you work with,
Mm.
sometimes are seen as less than.
Yeah.
People may not engage with
Yep.
them,
Yep.
or just the way they interact. Sometimes like
Mhm.
someone's maybe hard of hearing. You like you kind of
You want to yell at them? Yeah.
overemphasize,
Yep.
And not understanding a lot of these adults and teens, they understand and comprehend a lot more than people give them.
Yep.
You're going based on an assumption
Exactly.
of you may be cognitively impaired,
Right.
so we need to sometimes it's not always baby talk, but it's you're not really addressing them like you want
As
to.
a full human in so many
Yes.
words, right?
Absolutely. So how you tied in your personal story
Yeah.
about getting back to dignity and the umbrella.
Right.
I mean, I think that's amazing.
And here's the thing, Cliff. I think a lot of companies in America probably start the way we have started. It comes from a place where, we see a need, and if you don't know much about the business or the industry, you just kind of know what you know. So here it is. Here's my love, or here's my offering to the world. Like, here's what I can offer. And then people, if it's good, people will attach to it. And like the saying says, is that if you build it, they will come.
Yes.
Very similar to that. So I know if I didn't explain why Back to Dignity came about, I like what you said, because that's part of it too. Because everybody has to get back to something eventually, no matter who you are, right? You could have the richest person in the world go through a divorce. They got to get back to something too. You got to get back to whatever that is.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what that's all about there.
Awesome.
As far as the name. Yep.
Did you know how much of a demand there was?
I had no
when you
clue.
started?
I had no clue.
Okay.
I had no clue. I didn't know. I didn't know clue.
No, that's an honest answer. Honest answer. What was your background?
Good.
Or did you have a background in it, or you on the job training and learn as you go?
Well, let me answer that. So my background, again, when you own an agency, what happens is that there's a whole business side of things.
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole caregiving side of things as well. So it's basically two parts. When I had a group home for troubled teens behavioral health years ago, back in 2009. And I had that for years. So a lot of my experience came from there. But what I learned having that group home is that, one, I had to operate the business. I had payroll, I had staff, I had to deal with, the government authorities, like, the state, that kind of thing. You got to make sure food's in the house, the utilities are on, the rent or the mortgage is paid. There's a business side to everything. Insurances are paid and kept up, vehicles, paid and kept up with. And then you got kids in the house that you care about. And I noticed at that time with the group home, I was spending way more time with the kids, the care of things, make sure their needs are met. Hanging out, watching TV with them. We watched Family Feud every night around 6 p.m. or so, whenever it came on. We sat down as a family unit, had dinner. We ate dinner from the menu that a dietitians put together.
Yeah.
So whatever was in that menu, that's what we stuck to. So if I had spaghetti on that menu, we're not going to eat, fried chicken or anything. We're going to eat what's on the menu, because that's kind of what we said. We put it together as a team before the month began. We followed the plan that the dietitians put together. So we eat off the menu. We'll cook, watch the movies, or watch whatever we're watching, do a game, whatever we normally would do our quotes, do our maybe push-up sit-ups before we go to bed. So I was really involved in that part of it. And the business kind of, you figure I get back to it, but you gotta handle that too. So I had to learn how to, better manage my time, or budget my time between the care of people and running the business. So you asked me what's my background. I think a lot of people who have success, at least with group homes and caring for people, my personal opinion would be people who have, naturally care about people, have a big heart. That's important, because you cannot teach that.
Sure.
And then the way I grew up. So the way I grew up, I wrote a book called Financial Wellness back in 2015 or so.
Okay.
And it was just all about managing money, get out of debt, that kind of thing. Because again, everybody who knows me, or at least know my background, my family for sure, knew I grew up very, very poor, very like poverty stricken. Probably poorer than anybody's probably watching this podcast, to be honest with you. Eating out the trash can, that kind of thing, right? So I feel like what helps me is that knowing, how the struggles are in the world. I don't have to read that in the book. I know that from real life experience. And then being able to just help people based on, at least my experiences coming through, growing up.
Sure. Now, let's say that someone's interested in what Back to Dignity has to offer. Mm-hmm. What can a family, or what can a family expect, right, if they opt to come to Back to Dignity for their for their loved one?
Right. I like that question. I really wish I have a whole team to answer. When people come and receive services from Back to Dignity, I think people can expect or typically get more than they bargain for, because I think some of the stuff that we offer is not written on paper, and then we don't even realize we're offering it. It's just part of being part of who we are. So on paper, you'll see, okay, we'll offer your child or loved one a job. We'll get them a job here, and we'll pay them for the job that they're doing here. So we create employment for them, and we pay them for employment, even if they're just washing the tables or sweeping the floor or hanging a shirt on the hanger. We teach work skills.
Okay.
We teach life skills, and again, when you have a job, dignity come about. That there's dignity in having a paycheck, earning a paycheck, right? Just a little side note. You remember back in 2008 when the Great Recession was happening again? I was in real estate. I was a real estate agent back in Las Vegas. Got married, moved to Arizona, and 2008 my first kid was being born. Again, I was a real estate agent. I was 100% commission, and not stock market, but everything crashed. Right? It really started in 2006, but we all saw it in 2008. And when things crashed, I had to go and get a job. So I started working at a bank called Wachovia at that time, that was here in Arizona. So I worked at a bank, Wachovia, and also to supplement my income, because for me, that wasn't just enough money, because I was a real estate agent. I was using a lot more. So working at a bank, it was it was basic, and then I wanted more. So I started working home care at that time. And at that time, I had 3 young teenagers that all have muscular dystrophy. And muscular dystrophy is where, they bound to the wheelchair, and you have to feed them, you have to change them, you have to shower them, you have to do it's total care. I had 3 of the boys, 1 me, 3 of them. And I remember one of those guys told me, he said, Taurus, one thing I think he said one thing I miss, or one thing he wish he can do, because he'd always been muscular dystrophy. He's born with it. He said, one thing I wish I can do, and what everybody in this room would take for granted. He said, I wish I could just work. Damn, man, like, I was working like 80 to 90 hours a week at that time. Like, and again, not every 2 weeks, per week, 80 to 90, maybe 100 hours a week. Wow. Right? And this guy told me he wished he can work. So I know there's dignity attached to work, right? So again, you can expect to work here. If you want to, you don't have to. You can expect to go on outings. We go at least twice a week. That can be, just to the mall. It can be to the department stores. It can be to, like what they call like I ain't gonna say Chuck E. Cheese, but like the family fun center type places. Okay. It can be to the zoo. It can just be whatever, that's on the calendar. It could be to the, if it's Christmas season right now, it could be, going to see the lights, doing Halloween, the pumpkin patch type thing. So just kind of being out in the community. What else, man? You're talking life skills. You're talking, social skills with, other members that can be, similar to you. It's talking about learning how to build friendships, learning boundaries, classroom settings. There's some, sign language type classes that we have here. Bingo, where people can win nice sweaters like I have on now. But it's a lot. That's what I wish I had my whole team here, because I'm not even doing it justice right now. It's a lot. We offer, I think, a good amount.
You do, and I was going to say, as you're probably trying to run through everything you offer,
Right.
I know that you have missed some things. You talked about creating jobs,
Right.
but it's more than just kind of sweeping or wiping. You have a thrift store.
Yeah,
You
that's
have a
true. Huh?
convenience
Yeah, you're
store.
right.
You have a food truck.
You're right about that, huh?
You just
Yeah.
recently created the classroom that you're talking
You're
about
100% right.
you
Yeah.
haven't really touched
Got
on.
this
So I know
podcast right here, right?
So I know
You're right.
it's
Yeah.
hard to cover
It's
all
hard.
those things.
It's hard.
But what I can say, as having a child who is part of your company, um, I got, like you said, I got more than what I expected.
Wow.
I I absolutely did.
Wow.
And like you said, there's some things that you can't teach. You're like,
Right.
there's things that you can't put on
On a sheet,
On
right?
a
A piece
sheet.
of paper on a printout, right?
right. 'Cause,
I
like,
gotta put this down.
you're expecting certain things, but when you talk about the level of care, commitment, and I can say just from my son, the love that he
Right.
receives when he
Right.
comes in.
Mhm.
It's great dropping him off in the morning as he busts through the room,
Right.
and everyone's just like,
Hey,
"Hey!"
yep,
and,
yep, yep, yep.
and
Absolutely.
there's hugs and there's fist bumps,
Right.
you know.
That's beautiful, man. That's good for me to hear, actually. I like to hear that.
Absolutely. I mean, that's like I said, that's not going to be on paper.
It's not going to be on paper.
So,
It's not.
but I think those things are important.
Those things travel and all, it matters.
They absolutely do. Absolutely do.
Mm.
I will say this too. I
Mm.
know people get caught up in aesthetics
Yeah.
of
Yeah,
facilities,
that's true. Huh?
and I will be honest.
That's true, isn't it?
When
Yeah, that's
the
true.
first time coming here,
Right.
I was a little put off,
All right.
but met with you. I met with another gentleman. He's not here
Yep.
anymore.
I know you're talking about. Yep.
But I
Yep.
mean,
Yep.
he took to Mackay.
Sure
I'm
did.
sorry.
Okay. Keep going.
But my son also, the way he took to you,
Right.
he's typically with me arm in arm,
Yep.
and he did that like almost automatically with
He
you.
sure
Like,
did. So you remember?
what's going on?
You remember how? Oh, you felt that a little bit.
You know?
You remember how we met? You remember that whole interaction?
Yeah.
You remember? Tell me what you remember when I first saw your
Okay.
son.
You're talking about
The-
in person,
In,
not
per,
on the
in
phone,
person. In
right?
person. In person.
Gotcha. I believe you shook his hand.
Yep.
And but like he like automatically just went to you, and I can't remember if he
He
tried
did.
to give you a kiss on the cheek.
He didn't do that.
But I know a lot of it's his interaction. He'll shake someone's
Yep.
hand, then he'll smell his hand, and I probably went to like trying to explain why he's doing it.
No. Here's what I remember.
Okay.
I met him. I shook his hand, and he just pulled me. Boom. I'm like, this guy's strong. This dude's strong. He should be playing football in my head. I'm a football coach. But he shook my hand like this, and just pulled me.
Right.
Like he pulled me to him. And most people can't just pull me, but he did. but that was our first interaction, and then we walked around, and we did. I think we locked elbows or something like that, and we kind of walking around. But that was my first interaction with him
Yeah.
personally.
So I felt just based on, and we're talking the first 5 minutes or
Yep,
so.
really, for sure. Yeah,
I'm like, oh, this is gonna work. That's
Right.
how I felt.
good.
This is gonna work out.
Right.
Aesthetics wasn't even a high priority, but sometimes you go to
Yeah,
places
of
and
course. You judge it. You
You
know,
do.
I mean, curve appeal. I mean, it's natural. We all do that.
yeah, absolutely. But once you get into it, and my son had been asked to leave certain places for I think minor things.
What do you mean? What do you mean asked to leave? I think you're saying that nicely. What do you mean your son asked to leave? Like, what happened? Just tell us what happened.
My
He told not to come back. Like just
we don't know what to do with your son.
okay.
We aren't built to handle your son.
You know what? Just so you know, that's key though, because everybody can't.
Mhm.
And let me say this: I once went to a training here, and they were teaching a technique that's allowed just in case somebody's in danger. You use a certain technique to prevent them from harming themselves. And the person who created that school and those curriculum, that classes, guess what?
Were they special needs or
No. That person couldn't even perform the technique in real life. On paper, here's how to do it. Here's some videos on what to do. Here's a curriculum that's going to help you pass a test. And it's all true. But that person was in the class with me, and I'm not trying to put anybody down, but I learned at that point, everybody, like you said, is not built for this. Everybody can handle, certain situations or certain, type behaviors or certain diagnoses when it comes to members. They just don't have it. And I seen that hands on.
Gotcha.
So go ahead and continue. So,
yeah. Well, I guess it, some of it was due to kind of frustration in some cases, but I feel like if I go to my dentist, my dentist is going to be able to perform most of the things I need, or they're going to,
or refer it out if they can't.
Right. They're not be like, don't come back, I can't service you.
Yeah, that's
So
that's true. That's true.
Had some places that had Autism Academy somewhere in the name, or they operated under that auspice, and they're like, hey, again, we can't care for this, or sometimes they're even shocked by some of his behaviors. But I'm like, but if you want to talk textbook, and I know everyone doesn't fit into this bubble, but some things are somewhat textbook, and I'm like, and you're surprised? I think that was more off-putting to me.
I see that.
But just the one facility that was just like, essentially like, your son can't come back. We're not an Autism Academy.
But your name says it's in there. It's in your name, right? And
I'm taking it. You get funding under that auspice,
right?
So yeah, a little jaded. Part of me was jaded, some frustration. But I had a level of expectation, not good expectation.
Right.
It's just like, okay, this is probably what
when you came here, right? When you came here?
Well, I think just in general. Yeah.
Okay.
It had nothing to do with your facility. It's just the experience in the past of what we've dealt with.
Right.
Going back to that first meeting, the conversation we had, and I'm giving you the rundown.
Yep, you sure did. Yep, I remember.
As I joke about it, my son's rap sheet.
Right.
And you listened, and then you finally said, "Why do you think it's important?"
Right.
And it was because of as he's gone to other places, and we're trying to explain it. I didn't want anyone to get to be confused about what they may be getting into with our son. Right. So it's kind of like an opportunity to be like, I don't think we're the best place. Right.
Yep, that is an opportunity to say that. And I'm glad you did that, where you at least told us up front and told us the truth, what to expect. And I appreciate that, in my position. Just talk, let's just have a conversation. Right. So but I'm glad it's all working out, I'm really glad about that for sure.
It's almost actually, I don't know what specific date of this month, but 3 years.
I kind of figure that mentally. I know it goes really fast, like just snap your finger. Absolutely. But I'm thinking I'm trying to space it together. I'm thinking that's probably about 3 years ago. Yeah. Yeah, that went fast.
You didn't even take long to answer the vendor call. Right. And I think when the approval came, and I think you're like, we can take him like tomorrow.
Right. Yeah.
I was pumping gas when I got the call.
You were okay. This is interesting. This is interesting.
Yeah.
Pumping gas.
Pumping
you remember
gas that off of the 101.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they're like, he was accepted. That was the first shot. I'm going to be honest. Right. It's just everything we've gone through. And when I said, like, when can he start? It's like, tomorrow. What? Mind blown. And, he starts and just like, okay, a couple months go by. Then it's 6 months. Then it's a year. A few little incidents pop up, but like nothing major. Where no one was like, "Hey, you need to come get him right now." Like we've gone through that a lot. And then it's like, got through a year. and got through 2 years, and now we're coming up on 3 years, and I am continuously impressed.
Wow.
I absolutely am.
That's
Like,
crazy to hear.
I've gone to other places, and like they may have all the curb
The
appeal in
bells
the
and
world,
whistles and stuff like that.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But you start having that hard talk,
Right.
or like, oh yeah, we can take care of that,
Right.
and they may do it for like a summer session or
Right.
on spring
Right.
break, and and trying to get him enrolled again for like a spring break or summer break. Oh, we don't have any space.
And why
We
you
don't
think
have the staff.
why you think that's the case? Why you think they switch it up on you? Do you think it like tell me why you think that's the case?
I can't say for a fact, but I think
What does it
maybe
feel like? Like what's your impression of it? Your interpretation of it?
that they I think it's easier to care for someone that doesn't cause as many problems. Like, so as a supervisor, manager,
Yeah.
when you have employees
You're
that
right.
are amazing,
Right.
not a lot of hands on.
Right.
But if you have someone that's difficult and it
You
requires you,
mean employees or clients who are
oh, just an example that I'm giving.
okay.
So like, if you have an employee that needs a little bit more hands
Okay, I
on,
see the employee, yeah.
so I think the same thing
Right.
with my son is like, okay, yeah, this is maybe our staff, maybe we aren't ready for this. I would just been happy with just seeing that, as opposed to as I'm going in and I'm talking to the facility, and they're very cordial. But when they're like, oh, we'll give you a call back, or we don't have staff at the moment, but we should be getting. So after a while, just like, yeah, I've kind of heard
I've
this.
heard that before. Heard
so
the
I don't
game
think it's
before,
gonna
right?
happen.
Right.
So,
Right.
and I know I even joked one time. It's like, my number probably pops up like, oh, it's my guy's dad. What are we gonna tell him?
The thing is, like I was telling you before, Cliff. I mean, your son. I mean, look, he's not problematic. I don't know if that's the right word, but he's just not. I mean, I know he can be, like anybody, who's listening, be problematic. You having a bad day, but he normally comes in and he'll chill and sit on the couch, and I don't know if he has something in his hand that he likes to fiddle with. I know he likes like certain stuff. I think we got that stuff back that he really liked, just so you know. But he's not, putting holes in walls, to my knowledge. Some clients do. He's not, beating up on people. I know that sounds bad. Some people hit like some members hit staff.
Right.
He's not doing any of those things. So that really makes it easier for us, to be honest with you. But we're here. Again, thankfully it's working out. That's my whole thing.
Absolutely. Same here.
So go ahead. You got other questions for me on how the company?
Yeah, absolutely. So, how about you talk, like I said, you create the jobs, but like I said, you created the convenience store.
Right.
You've got a gym.
I do. Yeah.
Like a fully functional gym, not with something you might purchase from Target.
Right.
Like, it's a professional gym.
It is, yeah.
But the classroom, you talked about a little bit about the American Sign Language, but
Yeah.
I know you do a lot more with that.
Yeah. See, I wish I had Summer really heads up that whole learning center. I wish I had her. Maybe we can do a podcast with her. But look, we got a space. My job here, Cliff, is to let me find the best person that I think can do a good job with something. Because again, I can't do it all. I don't have all the skills. I don't have, the vision for everything. I just don't. But I know when something, feels good and it's right. So with this particular person, her name's Summer, by the way, she's been with us for years as well. And we kind of try to find good spots for her to kind of use her talent and her skills, bring it to the table. And this has worked out for her where she just took it and ran. So I know she used to be like a teacher's aide type situation in the school system. So she just brought those talents here where she set up the classroom. Obviously, I brought the desk, to set those up, but she put in all the signage. She created the curriculum. whatever else is going on in there, I give her the props for it. You know, she'll say, Tars, I need shelving over here. I may say, why you want it there? Do you want it here? Nope, I want it here. Okay, well, let's put it there. Okay. You know, but, you know, thankfully we just have people that we can trust to lead certain departments. Because if we have like 11 different stores, then, I mean, I'm only one person. I got to find people that I can trust to actually run the store and also to deal with the clients who are working in those stores. And as far as the gym, I think most people will see that gym on our TikTok videos because I'm working out people on that gym. Some of those people I'm working out are employees here. But yeah, that's a gym that we put together. And again, it was just an idea. And I know working out helps with anxiety, helps with, you know, stress, helps with depression. People look at me and think I'm a bodybuilder. I'm really not. I like to work out because I've been working out since I was 15 when I played sports. I kind of worked on and off all these years. But also I noticed as I got older, like the working out really reduces my anxiety, which I didn't think I had it until I don't work out. And I found out I'm kind of fiddling, like, hey, I need to go and work out. I missed 2 or 3 days. And now working out to me is like, you know, if you miss a day or two without brushing your teeth, you feel weird, don't you? Like, like man, I need to, even if you eat gum and your breath's not stinking, you kind of just, your mouth kind of feel like gritty or whatever.
Yes.
So it's like that. If I miss too many workouts, man, I feel weird. Like I got to go and work out. Something's not right.
Makes sense.
So that's why the gym was created, an idea. And then the benefits, you know, anxiety helps with that, reduces anxiety, helps with depression, increases your mood, releases positive, good endorphins. It makes boosts your self-esteem, right?
Yeah.
It feels great.
Now, you talked about ideas.
Yeah.
Let's talk about how we got here.
Podcast.
Yes. Yes.
You want to well, let me start here and then you tell me how you started, how you got here. Okay, so how we got here in this podcast is, again, I'm not a genius. Trust that. Everybody who knows me know I'm not a genius. This guy. Look, when we get members in, my main job, how can I find work for this person that's productive for them? Just like he's over there, right? Mm-hmm. How can we keep this guy busy? You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't want somebody coming in for a day or two. I don't want to be here anymore. We want to not just retain them, but give them an experience and have them want to come back for whatever that is, right? So the podcast started where we had a member that he was a radio host. I'm thinking, man, like, and he had no other skills in that, you know, just he had a good radio voice, like a dynamic radio voice. And we'll just brainstorm, what can we do with his skill set? I mean, I don't, what can we do? And we was talking about shredding papers and a little busy work like that to get him a job. And I just said, well, why don't we start like a podcast or, you know, some type of, like, I'm thinking media with his voice, some type of media. And that's how we started the Back to Dignity podcast. We changed the name since, but the Back to Dignity podcast started with, we have a member who has certain skill set. Let's create something for him and let's build it out. And that's how we got started with where we are right now. But I think your question more, how do you and I get to this room? Is that kind of
well, just the podcast itself.
Right.
But yeah, I think it's probably important how
okay.
you and I
well
to be about as well.
At least from my recollection is like I see you as a person. Well, put it this way. All of us see you as a person, as your son's father. You drop him off every day. And you're probably, matter of fact, you are the only father that drops off his son and or daughter, but your son at the program. No other father does that. The moms do, the group homes do, but the fathers don't. We don't see that. You're the only one. All right, so that's a standout, first of all. Okay, that's so-and-so's father, right? And then, you know, we see how much you care for your son. We can see it. It's written all over your face. It's all over you as a person. And then I saw, well, I think I had some conversations with you. I said, well, this guy seems like he knows what he's doing with this, you know, this long-term care type field. So it's kind of like I look at you like a subject matter expert. I know you laugh when I say that, but you are, you're an expert in a lot of different things just because you worked in the field, and also you have a family member who has a developmental disability. That makes you a subject matter expert. So I just figure, well, we're gonna do a podcast. I don't really know what to do, who we talk to, but I know people want to know, what this is all about, what disability is all about, what's developmental disability is all about. I'm really not the expert to talk about it. I can talk about what I know, but I can't talk about what I don't know. So I figured, let me ask him if he's willing to. And luckily you said, yeah, without hesitation. Was I a bit shocked? Yeah, because we're talking about open up your life to people, to the world, basically. Who wants to do that? Not many. So you said, yeah, okay, well, let's just see what we can do with it.
Yeah. It was easy for me to say yes because as I began this journey when our son got his diagnosis, I knew very little about autism, extreme cases. I think I shared this before in an earlier podcast. But so many people came into our lives at the right time.
That's amazing.
And they were open and honest about the good days, the bad days, the in between. And I just started just learning from them and a bit of a nerd. And I like literally just like delved into the books as we started doing IEPs and reading the state laws and or regulations, what you can do, what you can't do. And kind of probably being a pain in the butt as we go into meetings and we're talking,
just asking questions, right?
Asking questions, and waiting for someone to be like, well, we can't do that. I'm like, well, it says here in
article, this section here, right? Yeah, section absolutely. 1, A,
and that's kind of how it was in the military. So that kind of carried over,
right.
But it helped. And then, that family or those families that helped me in the very beginning in terms of paying it forward and having a sounding board.
Yeah, that's important.
I think it's easy to get caught up in what you think is your own little world, but there's other families, other parents out there going through, I'll just say the same thing, although it's not the same.
Situations are different, but it's very, very similar.
Yeah, absolutely. So like when you run across someone and you like kind of look tired today, like so-and-so didn't sleep or they've been up and and they're trying to hold down jobs, they have other kids, their spouses, and it's it's just like it's a release.
Right.
What I found is when you and I would just talk in general in passing,
right.
And you would ask things about my son or just in general. How are you doing today? Like you do look a little tired.
Right.
I don't think people understand the impact that has. It's said like, sometimes just asking someone how their day is going could completely turn their day around, or whatever thoughts they may have. And for me, that's truly the case. I think I've shared in the community that I live in, my son's with me a great deal of time. They're not used to seeing me without him, but they've taken an interest. They're just like, well, does your son have? And I'm like, yes.
I see. Did they ask? Does your son have what? Did they finish or did they stop?
Yeah, they'll ask.
Okay.
Is it autism or what is the disability?
Right.
Some people have just hit right on it.
I see.
And as they become more comfortable, as we see one another, it is like, well, how's he doing? Or what have you done?
Wow.
I've got a friend whose child was just recently diagnosed. But yet sometimes just that person just like taking a little bit of time out of their day, like it helps me because you're not necessarily you can talk to someone outside of your circle or outside of your house, which is helpful, and you may be helping them as well. So that's what I learned. So I enjoy talking about my son's plight, the challenges, the funny days, the not so funny days, And for me, it's paid off a great deal. I have a good friend. I'm hoping he's going to get on the
Hey, I'm
podcast
sure. I'm sure
soon.
he will. I'm sure he will. I'm sure.
He has an amazing story, but he met my son when he was about 3,
Mm.
and we talked, and he would always ask and inquire.
You said 3 years old. He met your son.
Hmm.
Mm.
And so
That's amazing.
we went our separate ways. I think I had retired, moved here. I think he was in Colorado,
Mm-hmm.
and he called me one day as his daughter had received an autism diagnosis, and he was like, "I remember all the things that you told me that you were going through."
Wow.
He's like, "I really don't know what to do." So
Wow.
we started talking. I'm like, "You have to be an advocate.
Mm-hmm.
You absolutely have to be an advocate."
Tell me why he has to be an advocate. Why? Tell me why you say that.
You know what?
Because of what?
There's times when if you don't fight for your child,
Yes.
um,
Yep.
you could lose out on services.
Yes.
Or if you're not knowledgeable,
On
it's like
on opportunity, right?
absolutely.
I'm listening. Keep going.
Yeah,
Keep going.
it's like finances.
Right.
You should have a basic knowledge,
Right.
to get you through some things, but this goes far beyond that. With a diagnosis, there's services that you can receive. There's these doors that open up for you to help better
The quality of life for your child.
quality of life for your child.
Right.
And the sooner that they're diagnosed and you get these services started, it's paramount.
Right.
So that's what I learned. And there's we've had pushback, and I talked to him about that. Like, you're gonna get pushback, but if you have knowledge and you can challenge what someone's saying, not necessarily in a bad way, but like, look, I have an understanding
Right.
about this.
If you
can't
can
pull the wool.
relate, you can talk on the topic. Have some type of knowledge, a knowledge base, right?
Absolutely.
That makes sense. And when you're talking, Cliff, I'm thinking about just even if you have a child that didn't have any disability, like you said, I asked you a question, why you told him to advocate, because you're supposed to, it's your kid, why not? And even like for me as a dad for my children, gotta advocate for them too, like speak up for them. They don't know, right? And put them in a position where they can prosper to the best of their ability rather than being forgotten about, that type of thing, right?
Yeah. And I think, it, although it's done, you don't necessarily need two parents to raise a child, but it helps.
I'm sure it does, man. It helps. Of course,
And
it
when
helps.
you can,
It helps.
kind of draw on the strength of that person.
Yes.
When it's a tough day for you.
Maybe they can, pick it up.
Absolutely. And recognizing
100%.
recognizing each other's strengths.
Right.
But I think you do that in general. If you're boyfriend, girlfriend, like
Right.
there's things you can do that, like, here's a strength for me and I don't mind doing this. And you have a strength there, or you come together and you combine those strengths and or that knowledge. That's why it was important for me. First time dad, and then receiving the diagnosis, and I'm just like, okay, I zygote stage of information. I want to know as much as I can, and that's when I said diving into the books, the various treatments at the time. I'm like, okay, and it was really technical again for me, in learning. So like when I'm talking to the doctors or the specialists, I can ask questions.
Right. Based on what you read.
Yeah, based on whatever.
Not experience, but read at that point, right?
Absolutely. It's like, so what do you think?
Interesting. Very
And
interesting.
He's had some really good specialists in his life. His current specialist, absolutely amazing, very receptive. I can send him a text like, "Hey, I read about this.
Good.
What do you think?" And he'll give me his honest opinions. Like, either like, I really don't know, or there's not enough information.
Right.
And during one of the roughest times of my son's life, reaching out to him, because we're just like, I don't know what to do.
Right.
Like, I don't know what to do. And for me, it's like, I don't like feeling that way, kind of like helpless, not hopeless, but like helpless.
Right.
Because I can't impact what's going on with my son's life, where he's injuring himself. And it's, so I'm sure he's stressed out. I know the house is stressed out. And, talk with the doctor, and he's like, okay, let's try this. And it took a while. but you see these incremental improvements, which is like, okay, baby
Right.
steps.
That's
Yeah.
important.
And I'm a firm believer in baby steps.
Hmm.
My son's diagnosis has made me change a lot about my thought process, and I shared that about the forward momentum of a ant is no less significant than a giraffe
Yeah, that's right.
because they're moving forward.
Right.
So I'm like, hey, I'm happy with baby steps.
Baby steps, you're right. They build up to something big where things can snowball after a while,
Yes.
right? Let me ask you a couple of questions. To me, you said a lot. You said boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever the person you're with, uh, if you have a responsibility like a child with a disability, you guys can work off each other's strengths and weaknesses. That's what I heard. And then you're saying you said something about the stress in the household. Your son maybe self-harming that causes stress. My questions would be, one, I would say don't take for granted that you know strengths offset one another, because what I've seen, at least, strengths can also and stress can pull people away. So you may be strong, your wife or girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever is going on, can have a strength. You have a strength. You guys can offset if you guys decide to work together. But the stress can cause it where this thing about to explode. Like it ain't going to tomorrow. This is about to be over because the stress is too heavy. So to be able to get through what you're talking about right now, to me that's maturity. Though that's a sign of almost like a supernatural type of helping there. Like something else is going on to help that environment. So don't take that for granted. Oh, she's strong here, I'm weak here. Just because that's the case, I don't mean it's going to be successful.
True. A lot of it has upbringing.
Yeah, values, upbringing.
Absolutely.
What's important to you. Yeah.
And for me, again, it was amazing just being a father.
Yeah.
That first interaction that I had with my son. Mom is knocked out because of she was sedated and things of that nature.
That's right.
So we got to spend some man time together. Right. First hours of life.
Wow, interesting.
So I'm in the nursery and I'm just marveled. This little dude, right? So my hand is I can't recall what the term is, but where they have the babies resting. What's the little bed in the nursery?
What that thing called? Incubator? I know something. That little the thing that they lay them on and they measure them out. They measure them. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know. Yeah.
So I got my hands are just on it.
Yeah.
Just looking at them.
Yeah.
Purely coincidence. But he reached up and he wrapped his little hand around my pinky.
Wow, that day one. He was strong enough to do that.
Yeah, which was just I know it was he's probably maybe moving around, but he latched on to my finger.
That's a lot for day one.
I was dumb. I'm like, this is my man.
That's a word right there.
And now that's what he calls me. He's like, that's my man.
That's good, man. That's beautiful, man.
So I'm like, it's like whatever I can do. But I feel I had a good example, not just my dad, but just with family members. You have good and bad examples, and you can learn from. I think you can learn from both.
Both for sure.
So it's like, I want to do what I can, for this kid, even before the diagnosis. And that just made me more. I don't know if I could be more committed, but yeah,
determined. I can see that because it's your heart, it's your son, you love him. Was there any time that you thought about finding another turn of home and a turn of home for your son, anything like that? Because right now he lives at home.
Yes.
Tell me about any of that experience.
There was a time, probably before he came here, or maybe the year before. Again, the self-injurious behavior, attacking his mom, attacking his sister. To the point where a couple of times the police had to be called. I can't remember if I shared this, so I apologize if it's a repeat. But it had gotten to the point where we had these 2 weeks where he was, I'll just say, out of control. um, that that mom had to call the police. She's like in the bathroom trying to protect herself, her daughter, still trying to make sure he doesn't harm himself,
Right.
but like just out of control. So
Oof.
the first time that the police arrived,
Mm,
you know, got things calmed down,
mm,
put in touch with like the crisis center
mm,
and things like that, which is a bit of a disappointment there.
mm.
But when you feel like you're in crisis,
Right.
you want help right
Right
now,
now.
not
Right.
to have someone say, "Hey, we don't have anything at this moment," and it's not their
I
fault.
know, but
They,
just
you
still,
still need
I need
resources.
something right now.
Yes, and so
Wow.
about 2 weeks later, had another incident where I think he had latched on to mom, his aunt, like their hair and wouldn't let
Oh,
go. They
both of them
couldn't
at the
break
same time.
free. Yep. And I think
Oh
that
man.
our daughter had to call the police.
Hmm.
So this time around, completely different story. So my son's nonverbal. He has cognitive impairment. He's on the autism spectrum. Um, so he doesn't comprehend everything. He never had any interaction with the police. So I guess this one particular patrol
Mm.
person who responded
Hmm.
was a little more aggressive than he needed to be,
Hmm.
and actually handcuffed my son.
Hmm.
So at this time, we're talking, he's, I don't know, maybe 18,
Hmm.
something like that.
Hmm.
But still,
Hmm.
um, and he's a strong kid,
Strong guy.
probably a fight or flight kicked in.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, but I remember, like, I was in law enforcement when I was in the Air Force.
Hmm.
You know, the minute someone potentially touches your gun or something like
Oh,
that, you have
yeah.
training, but there's
Right.
some instincts that
Right.
that come into
Mm.
play.
Mm.
And I thought, like, God. And
Mm.
this was during a time when a lot of things was going on
On the
in the
internet, yeah, on
world.
the internet and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And I'm like,
Mm.
you know how bad that outcome of that could have taken
I think we
place?
all can imagine that.
Yeah.
Man,
Heck, I remember, I mean, I know, being in law enforcement in the
right.
military is
Different
different
than
than,
civilians and that
yes,
kind of thing. Mm.
absolutely. But it was, I don't know, close to 10 years before we got any training on how to deal with,
The mental illnesses and stuff like
yes.
that.
And it
So,
was,
so what? Tell me what happened. What happened? So this situation is interesting. What
all
happened?
right. So, they
Wow.
handcuffed them. They got them calmed down, and everything worked out. So it was that kind of facilitated that process of, like, maybe we need to, excuse me, look at alternate living conditions. I mean, there was a time that he had grabbed my daughter by the hair and pulled her down the steps.
Mm.
She hit the landing, and then he just continued to drag her down the next set of steps.
Mm.
So
What,
it's,
what caused him to do that? Like any?
I
Do we
don't
know
know
what happened?
I don't know what the trigger was.
Even for your wife and the mom, you didn't know the
No,
trigger in those neither.
no. He would say that, I don't know why mom is a trigger. Or if he was just in a bad mood and it's just like, I'm taking out my anger on someone.
And you don't know if he wanted something to eat or like he was told no or denied
Yeah.
something that
It could have been
something like that.
some of his triggers are around food or something
Mm,
like that. But, like, he'll communicate with his communication board with
mm,
mom.
mm,
But that's kind of like the only person. But, like,
mm,
when he was, I don't know. Sometimes he had mentioned sometimes, like, it's something that he's thinking about that may have happened a couple weeks back or even longer. But now
yeah,
he's thinking about it.
right,
He's
right,
focused on
right.
it, and
Right.
now
It's
now
coming out.
he's unleashing.
Mm,
So the crisis center came in. We have a behavioral therapist person that would come in. I can't remember the frequency.
mm,
Um, and then at one point we started doing paperwork for placement.
mm.
And we got to the point where we needed to sign the papers, and just like, again, just like, man, I can't, I can't, I can't do it.
All right.
I just can't do it. I had to figure out something.
You couldn't sign it.
I couldn't.
Tell me why. What held you back?
He'd been to a bunch of other places that I feel should have advocated for him. Been
His
in
corner.
his circle where the learning institutions, things of that nature. You have the specialists who work with kiddos on the autism spectrum, and we kind of touched on some of the reasons why he was asked to leave, let go, kicked out, whatever term you want to use. And I couldn't put myself in that same circle.
So hold on a second. So you couldn't sign, because I'm almost thinking like it's signing like a divorce paper. Say if somebody served you, your wife served you divorce papers, it's much you sign for. I don't want to sign this thing. Did it feel like that, where it was like you were losing something, or it's gonna be a whole nother life, or you just saw like you got to make sure he's gonna be safe and feel good in a certain environment? Like,
Yeah, I felt like I'd been, as his dad, I'd been letting him down, and I wouldn't have been any different than any of the schools that he's attended
I
to say,
see.
"Hey,
There we go. There it is.
we don't know what to do."
Like you feel like you were giving up on him.
Yeah,
in a sense.
absolutely.
Even though you had a reason to
Yeah.
think to get to this point,
Yeah,
you still would have felt some guilt. I didn't do everything I could for myself.
absolutely. Even if it was just temporary, but my thought with that was how bad things were.
Mhm.
I'm like, he's my son, but it's just like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. There's some restraint.
Mhm.
I need 5 minutes. Like when he pulled my daughter down the steps, it's just like
Mm.
I need some space between us.
What were you feeling? Because I didn't think about this until you brought it up. When he grabbed your daughter by her hair, pulling her down the stairs, and you witnessed it.
Yes.
Just you were there.
Mm-hmm.
Your first thought was what? I'm about to whip your butt,
Like,
Makai?
I don't know what I'm going to do. It's like I'm trying
to think if I saw that happen in my house. Hold a second.
there's a bunch of thoughts. It's just like, what are you doing? And I'm putting that in
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Yeah.
It's just what's the reason for it?
What the hell's going on right here, right? I got
Is
you.
she okay? Because she's
Right.
screaming. And it's just like, but like I gotta get them separated. I need to calm
Yep.
him down before I can even calm myself down. And then my reaction towards you is like I'm a grown man. You're still a child.
Right.
He may not have been 18, but it's just like,
But he's your son.
yeah, he's
He's a
my
child.
son.
He's a child still.
Yeah,
He's a
so
child.
like I need to make sure that now that you don't start, banging your head on the counter, putting holes in the wall. Like he's broken. Well, heck, he broke one of your storefront windows with his head.
He did do that a while ago. I forgot
Yeah.
about that. So that's what I'm saying. Like, so much stuff happens or can happen. I totally forgot about it. He brought it up.
Yeah,
Remember I said earlier he don't put holes in the walls?
I know.
I forgot about that a second.
I wasn't gonna correct you.
No, that's okay though, because I forgot.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that situation.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, I wanna make sure she's okay, make sure he's okay, kind of get him calm. I need to find a way to get some time to myself, and
Right.
maybe a little bit later. But yeah, you're just like, could you think about it? Like if that was anyone other than your own child,
Oh man.
you know, right? Like,
Man,
probably
especially
gonna
my
get the
daughter.
business.
Oh
Yeah.
man, about the yeah, it's a problem.
It is a problem.
Go ahead and call who you need to call because we got a problem. Right, it's a problem right now.
Yeah.
right now.
So that's what kind of is like, yeah, we've got to do something. But even still, it's just like, we've got to figure out something, and
For everybody's sake.
for everybody's sake. So
Yeah.
we worked out something. But I think I shared this too. When my mom came to live with me, when she was still able-bodied, she was sitting at the dinner table one day, just reading a book, just doing something. And my son just walked over. I mean, literally just walked over, grabbed her by the hair, and yanked her out of the chair. Well, it's 95.
That's tough. That's tough.
I learned how much patience
Wow.
and restraint that I had
Wow.
that day, and I literally had to. I wasn't home by myself this time, which was
Wow.
good. So I had to put myself in a timeout
Wow.
because again, anybody else. Like that's mom.
That's a lot.
95 like you said, too. Call who you need to call.
Do what you got to do. Yeah, none of that stuff matter right now. None of that stuff matters.
No, it doesn't.
That's tough, man.
And not knowing what the trigger was. And you know, he apologized, but it's just like, well, what was it? You want to know, like, what was the cause? You know, when we first started this thing, you always hear about like, what was the antecedent?
Right, antecedent.
Yeah, it's just like I don't think there was none that I knew of, but who knows what's going on in his head? You know, like
right. I don't know the antecedent on this one. What happened? I don't know.
Right. It's like, hey, it happened and we need to deal with it.
Right.
And we'll backwalk it and all that. But
man,
yeah, that was tough.
That's a tough one. Your mom, yeah.
And then we had another incident.
How'd you break it up? How'd you break that up though? Like did he let go or?
Oh yeah, he just.
Whew.
And just you know like and just kind of like walked away.
Walked away.
And I'm just like, I'm like okay, you need to.
Your mom was okay.
Yeah, she was okay. Like but I think she may have hit her head and she hurt her hip. You know, again. Was
she paranoid around him after that, or she was just relaxed? Yeah, how does that work?
She was a little tense around him for a bit.
How about your daughter? How did she? How did that?
No. We've got some funny things. So she had gotten to the point where like if he was having a bad mood, go to your room. Go to your room.
Yeah.
Lock your door.
Right.
Or the funny part for me, like if I'm outside, you know, I'm grilling a lot and I'm doing my thing and she'll come outside, it's like, Code Red! Code Red! So that's, again, it's a bit of humor injected, but it's just, and instead of just like, he's acting bad, dad, come and deal with him. Yeah.
That's just Code Red.
Yeah, so it's just like, okay, let me.
Yeah.
But you know, I for me, as I've mentioned a lot of times before, like humor kind of helps me get through a lot of things. Even it may seem inappropriate, but like you can kind of find some humor in.
Because again, I'm laughing at it too because I'm getting to know you over the time. But Code Red is not a funny matter. Think about it. Think about that, man. Ain't nothing funny about Code Red, man.
It's
not.
But
now that I know you more, it's kind of, I know where you're coming from. But that has to be. Well, let me ask this question: do you ever feel like you could just relax, or do you always feel like you little up a little bit? Can't let your hair down completely.
There used to be a time I was like hyper vigilant, and I feel like I couldn't relax if I was at work. I couldn't relax because I'm wondering like what's going on either at the school or at the home, and again, can't give you enough praise. But I shared with you that for the first time, and I don't know how long, when he came here, I was finally able to relax and breathe, and I could focus on my job. I'm still thinking about like, okay, well, those first couple of months, it's like, all right, what's gonna happen?
Right. When would I get that call, right?
Yeah. But everything was handled, and like I said, 6 months, a year, and now I'm just like, okay, okay, I can do this. I can, I can exhale if you.
Right. That's good. That's a good word.
Yeah.
So. Can you like let us know how do you use, what kind of self-care do you use? Because for me, any stressful situation, like I gotta go to the gym. It's almost like I go to the gym just because now, because I enjoy it, right? I'm learning that I like to travel. I never thought I'd like to travel because I'm thinking, to me, when I hear travel, I hear get in an airplane. When you get to your destination, you're probably tired. And you hang out on the beach, and I'm really not a beach guy, but hang on the beach or something like that. Then you go home after 2 or 3 days, whatever, a little short getaway, go back home, and then you go back to work and you're still kind of tired from the vacation. That's typically how my mind look at like traveling or vacation. But now I'm realizing traveling for me helps me see the world, or it helps change my perspective.
Gotcha.
Me seeing the world helps change my perspective because everything is about what I see in my everyday life. So travel to me, you know, different environments, different cultures, different type people, different customs, different values, you know, even old school values we used to have in America, they still exist in other places. We feel like they all gone away, but no, they're still out there, just maybe not around where we are, or at least where I'm at. So working out, travel, listening, well, again, working out, to me, the music, I'm listening to music while I'm working out, and just relaxing, you know, just relaxing. No phone calls, no talking on the phone, not really talking to anybody, just recharging.
Gotcha. For me, it took some professional help to help me realize some things. You know, there's times when the professionals would say like, "Hey, you need to take an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours for yourself," and I'm like, "What the heck what's 2 hours? What's an hour?"
That's a lot. You only got 24 hours. You take 2.
Yeah.
If you got 24 hours, you take 2 of it. That's what, 10%? Is that 10%? It's about 10% of the. They don't sound like a lot, but
it does.
10% don't sound like that.
And that's where I was. It's just like
it doesn't sound like it.
An hour, 2 hours. Like I'm focused on like, okay, now I got 58 minutes. I got 57 minutes.
Yeah,
but not.
Go ahead.
But not just that. It was, you know, during that time period that my son wasn't with me. It's that concern of like, okay, is he okay?
Ooh.
Is mom okay?
You can't rest. So what's 2 hours when you can't rest anyway? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's how it felt. So I learned to get past that because, you know, one is better than none, right? Than none. So it took some retraining for me to like, okay, I've got an hour. And for this hour, I need to stop concentrating so much on what might happen. I'm creating these scenarios that may never happen.
It probably won't happen.
I'm getting stressed out over things that I probably shouldn't even stress about until maybe I get the call saying like, you know, the fecal matter has hit the oscillating blades. So it's like, okay, I'm going to take this hour. I'm not going to play these mind games of what might happen.
On yourself, right?
Yes, on myself. And that helped.
It sure does.
And then what else helped was during that hour, 2 hours, everyone was fine. And even if it wasn't fine, we worked through it like we typically do. Because things are going to happen.
Right.
But it got to the point where I accepted that fact, didn't focus, things went great, or as good as possible. And then you string those along.
Right.
It's like, okay.
So now in 5 days, you got 10 hours, right?
Exactly.
You know, 7 days, and 7 days, you got 14 hours. So, and would you mind just sharing, like, what did you do with your time off, your break? What did you do in that hour? What'd you do with your time?
You know, sometimes I would take a nap.
That's important.
Yeah. Or I go to our loft, put on a movie. Even if I don't get to watch the whole movie, it's just like for this hour, I'm not thinking. Not that I'm not thinking about anything.
Yeah, but it takes your mind off
absolutely
the other stuff. 100%.
But the one thing that I probably do the most, like, I like to cook, I like to grill.
Right.
I have to be careful about this because I smoke. I smoke almost everything on the smoker. Right. That's what I'm referring to. Right. 5-6 days a week.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
it's every day.
Yeah. So my son and we're outside in the backyard. As the temps are getting cooler, turn on the fire pit.
Right.
Turn on the TV.
Right.
I'm even though I'm cooking something, I'm still watching another video about like maybe how I could cook it a different way. So that's how I relax. And yeah, I'll have a drink. I'll smoke a cigar. I'm not turning. Those aren't crutches. Right. It's just like this is
pastime. This is relax.
Yeah, this is the way that I kind of relax. But yeah, I love cooking. Love cooking for the family.
That's beautiful.
that reaction at times when I'm really, we can be critical on ourselves about so many things.
Of course.
And when it comes to food, I'm just like, everyone could be like, it's great. And I'm like,
You can do better.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I can do better.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's times like, I'll make a dish one night and I'm like, the next night I'm making the same thing because I'm trying to make it better.
Man, that sounds like a professional cook, man.
I wanted to be a chef, not to open up a restaurant or anything like that, but to hone my perceived skills.
Really? So did you miss your calling?
I don't know.
Interesting.
Sometimes I feel like maybe my calling is kind of like what we're doing as just talking about this journey in the special needs world. I'm passionate about cooking, but I think I'm more passionate about my son, and like I said, whatever his God-given potential is, kind of helping him achieve that. So yeah, but I was actually I got accepted into a culinary arts school when I was in DC.
Okay.
All set to go in October, and there was this thing September 11th that took place. Yeah, so that just kind of
I remember exactly where I was when that happened.
So that kind of put things on the back burner. And I just never pursued it anymore. It's just other than I've gone to lots of cooking classes, barbecue smoking classes.
That's nice.
There's this one, I think I've attended all of his classes and some of them twice.
Who's the person?
It's the Arizona Barbecue University or something like
and
that.
I guess they're really good. You learn some stuff from there?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, they have classes. One of the classes I attended is 6 hours long, and and you aren't cooking like oh, here's a pork chop, here's a London broil, prime rib. If it's a seafood class, it's tuna, and in a 6 hour class, you may eat like literally 3 different times, not like little morsels. It's a full spread.
Wow. So you enjoy cooking, huh?
I do. It started with baking with my mom.
Man, that's amazing.
Yeah. So that's kind of how I do it. And the other times of it may not seem relaxing, but like this right here, it's relaxing and it's therapeutic, and I'm hoping that we're touching people, giving information that they need.
Right.
I mean, can't beat that. My one friend that I hope you'll meet, we'll call and talk. We may not even talk about our kids. It's just it's comic relief, to be honest. Just about different things going on in the world and things that happen, and maybe how you react to it. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
That's very nice. Okay. Well, when you talk about cooking, I'm thinking, man, I like to relax by basically having my significant other cook for me. That's how I relax.
Gotcha.
Because I'm ask my kids, I'm a terrible cook. I'm terrible, man. And I know it, and they know it. And I tell them it's okay to say you don't like it. It's okay, because I know it's
baby steps, right?
Baby steps.
Start salt, pepper, then we'll work up to the other spice.
I use salt and pepper. I just I'll cook something one day, it's totally different the next day. How does that happen? You cook something one day, you do the same way you just did yesterday, and it tastes different. What's that all about?
I know. So sometimes I don't always measure. Sometimes that has get a little heavy-handed on the garlic.
What's going on?
But speaking of dads and cooking, my mom always cooked. My dad would grill.
Right.
And my mom had went into the hospital, and I was young, but I'm like, I think we're gonna starve. I had no idea this dude could cook. He could burn.
Right, I believe it.
And I'm
not shocked. I'm not shocked.
Man,
because that's the yeah, I like certain. Yeah, that's how I relax. Just kind of relax.
Yeah.
See what comes out. Eat it. I like that. To me, that feels good to me.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna edit there. Sterling, just so you know, just. Can we get off live?